Hello, dear audience. I am glad to welcome you to the next edition of our program, which is dedicated to the current stage of work of the UST Group of Companies, Unitsky Group of Companies, on the implementation of UST technology, the technology of elevated string rail transport in different regions of the world to solve a variety of transport problems. My name is Eugeny Petrov. I am the Deputy General Manager of Marketing for Unitsky String Technologies Inc. With me today are Sergey Tarasov, Director of the Usky Testing and Certification Center in Sharjah, and Alexey Vodopetov, Head of the Rolling Stock Department of Unitsky String Technologies Inc., Minsk. Today, we will discuss the current stage of construction and commissioning plans for the Karat Transport and Infrastructure Complex, which is in its final stage of implementation. Sergey Gennadyevich, let's start with you. Please tell us about the current state and prospects for the Usky Center development. What processes are currently active at the center, and what, in your opinion, is considered to be the main and most important in this context?
Hello, colleagues. At our last working meeting, I mentioned that the fourth test section, known as the Carat Transport and Infrastructure Complex, was completed last year. Currently, we are actively engaged in commissioning works both within the complex and separately for rolling stock. I would like to clarify that Carat Transport and Infrastructure Complex is currently undergoing daily, sometimes even nightly field testing. We perform intensive testing along the entire length of the track structure. Let me remind all our listeners that this complex is almost 2.5 kilometers long, or 2,400 meters to be precise. As part of these tests, improvements are being made to the track structure in order to meet operational requirements. In addition, separate work is being carried out on the rolling stock, the Usky Carat, as we call it. In recent months, we have been actively involved in rolling stock commissioning, carrying out work on various transport subsystems. Particularly noteworthy is the work done to set up the control of various systems, from pneumatic control to motion, positioning, air suspension, and multimedia systems. Our efforts are aimed at improving and adapting the internal systems and subsystems of vehicles to their operating conditions. Our general designer, Anatoly Eduardovich Unitsky, reminds us that the complexity of our vehicles is not inferior to that of aircraft, so we are actively working on technical innovations and improvements. It is important to note that after the design and construction stages, it is not uncommon for new challenges to arise during field testing that require our attention to eliminate, upgrade, and improve. Thus, our team is currently focusing on these tasks in order to ensure smooth and safe operation of our vehicles. Anyway, over the last few months, we've been actively setting up the various systems I've mentioned, and not just them. Now, the main focus is on transferring control from an automated workplace, that is, from the control room, to our operator. Usky transport personnel are being trained by our partners at Unitsky String Technologies Inc. to provide independent operation of the fourth test site. This means that operators will set up and monitor the system from the other end of the facility without being directly at the station or near the vehicle. Our control room is located on a construction site covering over 280,000 square meters and is practically at the other end of the facility. Our technology and systems allow operators to manage multiple complexes simultaneously from a single control room. This means that the operator will manage the fourth test site while from the common control room. As for the vehicle systems, Alexey can provide more details as he has a lot of technical experience and competence in this area.
Interesting what you said about the control room, Sergey Gennadyevich. Maybe Alexey will comment on this point right away. At one end of the Usky Center, there is the control room that now controls two lines at once, the line carrying UCAR and the 2.5-kilometer-long Carat complex. In this case, we are working on solutions that will be used in commercial projects, when the line may be tens of kilometers long, and the control room, accordingly, will be located at the same distance. Am I understanding this correctly? Alexey Vladimirovich, please comment.
Hello. Everything is correct. It is in the control room of the Usky Center that all our solutions for the automation of the complex are being actively tested and proven. Our goal is to create a control system that can effectively control facilities over significant distances, even distances of tens of kilometers or more. Various technical solutions and machine communication options are being finalized. This process takes time, so a certain time frame is set for work completion. Managing multiple complexes does present a unique challenge. To date, all of our projects have involved a single line with multiple machines operated from a single control room. However, we now have the opportunity to test the control of several lines at once from one control room. This will allow us to gain valuable experience and better understand how to effectively manage multiple facilities at the same time. All these aspects are brought together within the operation of a single control room in order to track how all lines are managed as a whole. We already have experience in Belarus, where we successfully manage several lines from one control room. We are now transferring this principle of operation to the Usky Center, but using different communication systems and other technologies. We are constantly evolving, striving for excellence, and constantly introducing improvements to our work.
All right. Sergey Gennadyevich, at the moment, several months have passed since the start of commissioning tests. Regarding the operation of the flyover and rolling stock, some progress should already be visible. However, it is important to make sure that the characteristics of the complex meet the parameters that were set during design and construction. Thus, it is important to confirm that everything is working according to the plan and original requirements.
Now we can clearly observe the confirmation that the previously laid down solutions in the design and project documents are working effectively, as our transport is functioning in working mode and without failures. This confirms the correctness of our preliminary decisions. There are situations when we need to make refinements and changes to the system, but I would rather call it a modernization process that helps us to improve our work. Even when comparing different lines, if you compare transport complex number 1 with test section number 4, we see that our solutions are constantly being updated and improved from line to line, from vehicle to vehicle. This leads to improvements in quality, technical parameters, performance, and so on. Each new step brings improvements and increases the efficiency of our facility.
Anatoly Eduardovich often compares U-Bus to an airplane in terms of complexity. Alexey Vladimirovich, how many systems and subsystems there are in such a vehicle as Carat U4212?
The approximate number of systems in Carat U4212 vehicle cannot be determined hastily, as there are indeed many. It is important to note that all systems in this model are redundant. For example, the climate control system has 2 circuits, so that if one fails, the second circuit is automatically switched on. The same redundancy is made for the rest of the systems, including cooling of inverters, engine, and other mechanisms. This approach to design makes Carat U4212 a reliable vehicle, ensuring passenger safety in all conditions. Of course, this structural complexity increases the technical complexity of the vehicle, but this is necessary to ensure reliable operation and safety.
Indeed, everything is like on a plane. Things are being done in a similar way there now, too.
The safety systems in Carat U4212 vehicle are duplicated not twice but 3 times to ensure a high level of reliability. Special attention has been paid to the ride smoothness system. The suspension has been modified to become a 2-stage suspension. Thanks to this change, the smooth ride on Carat U4212 is comparable to business class comfort, especially when traveling along intermediate supports. This vehicle is really serious and complex in its construction, which emphasizes its high technical level and thoughtfulness of every detail.
I would like to remind our listeners that all commercial projects that are currently being implemented within the framework of Unitsky String Technologies Inc. involve a significant volume of transportation. For each of these projects, we carry out design, preliminary studies, and develop feasibility studies. These projects require a variety of rolling stock and involve a high load on track infrastructure. This is exactly what we show on the example of Carat Transport and Infrastructure Complex. Thank you, dear colleagues, for a productive discussion. We have summarized the main points. I would like to emphasize once again that Carat Transport and Infrastructure Complex is a serious alternative to such large-scale projects as a high-speed elevated tramway or elevated and underground metro, which provide high performance. We invite you to follow the development of our company as we implement many exciting and innovative ideas in our technology. Special thanks to each of you for your time. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.